Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Casey, and I share practical style tips for petites like me. Most of what I talk about comes from my own research and experiences, plus inspirations I find online, but I try to keep everything as close as possible to how I'd actually style or wear it myself. Last week, I shared how I stretch my wardrobe from the gym to errands without changing my whole outfit. But honestly, that kind of flexibility starts even earlier, at the moment of buying. I've learned that not every piece I like on the hanger works for me once it's in my closet. And as someone petite, I've wasted money and closet space on clothes that just didn't feel right once I got home. Over time, I built a checklist of questions I ask before every purchase. These aren't rules to stop you from buying, but questions to make sure you're buying the right things. Today, I'll share the 10 questions that save me from clutter, regret, and that feeling of I have nothing to wear. Question 1. Does it fit my proportions? As petites, proportion is everything. A pair of pants that drapes beautifully on someone taller might swallow me whole. A midi dress can sometimes look like an ankle-length gown. So before I buy, I look at where the hem hits, how the waistline sits, and whether the sleeves are overwhelming. I ask myself, does this elongate me or does it cut me off? If it needs hemming, is it worth the extra cost? Getting this right means I buy clothes that flatter me right away, instead of piling up clothes waiting for alterations. Question 2. Can I style it with at least 3 things I already own? This one changed my shopping completely. In the past, I bought pieces I loved in isolation. Then they sat in my closet because nothing matched. Now I play a quick game in my head. Can this top go with my favorite jeans, that skirt I wear on weekends, and maybe layered with a blazer for work? If I can't think of 3 pairings instantly, I let it go. This not only saves money, but also keeps my closet working as a system instead of random one-off pieces. Question 3. Does it suit my actual lifestyle right now? I think many of us buy for a version of ourselves we wish we were. I've bought heels thinking I'd wear them to chic nights out. But in reality, my weeks are errands, coffee runs, and casual dinners. So I ask, am I buying this for my real life or for a fantasy version of myself? Sometimes the answer is that it's aspirational, and that's fine if it's intentional. But most of the time, asking this question keeps me grounded and saves me from owning clothes that collect dust. Question 4. Is it comfortable enough to wear all day? Style matters, but comfort decides whether something gets worn often. If the waistband digs in, if the straps slip off constantly, or if the fabric makes me itch, I won't reach for it. As a petite, I also notice that some proportions affect comfort. Pants too long end up dragging, jackets too bulky feel heavy. Now, if I can't imagine myself lasting a full day in it, I don't buy it. Question 5. Do I already own something too similar? I used to buy duplicates without realizing it. I'd come home with a new black top only to find 3 almost identical ones in my closet. So I've started asking myself, does this add variety or is it just another version of what I already own? Sometimes, yes, I buy repeats if they're absolute staples, like black high-waisted leggings. But for trend pieces or statement items, I try to avoid doubling up. It keeps my closet more interesting and intentional. Question 6. Will it survive multiple washes? Fabric tells you a lot about longevity. I used to ignore care labels, then wonder why pieces shrank, faded, or lost shape. Now I check what's it made of and how much care does it need. If it's something I'll wear often, it needs to handle regular washing without falling apart. This matters even more for petites, because when you do find something that fits perfectly, you want it to last. Otherwise, you're back on the hunt too soon. Question 7. Does the color or print work for my frame? Color makes or breaks a look, especially for petites. Bold prints can overwhelm my frame, while certain shades make me look washed out. I hold a piece up and ask, does this brighten me or does it drown me? Do I have neutrals to balance it out? Sometimes I love the design, but the color just doesn't love me back. Passing on those pieces has saved me from so many regrets. Question 8. Can I move freely in it? I actually test clothes by moving around in the fitting room. I sit, I raise my arms, I crouch a little. It sounds funny, but if I can't move comfortably, I won't wear it often. Clothes should move with you, not against you. Petites especially need this check, because oversized cuts can restrict movement, or too long sleeves end up dragging when you're just trying to eat or work. Question 9. Is it worth the price when I think cost per wear? Price tags can be misleading. A $50 dress sounds expensive until I realize I'll wear it weekly for a year. That's basically $1 per wear. But a $15 trendy top I wear once is actually more expensive long term. This is how I stop myself from impulse buying. I ask, will I get enough wear out of this to justify the cost? If not, I leave it behind. Question 10. Will I still want this 6 months from now? This question stops me from chasing trends. Will this still feel like my style half a year from now, or will I regret it once the hype fades? If I hesitate, I wait. And most of the time, if I forget about it a week later, I know I didn't really need it. This one question alone has saved me from so many impulse buys that would have cluttered my wardrobe. At this point in my 30s, I've learned that shopping isn't just about finding something pretty or trendy. It's about being realistic. It's about choosing pieces that I'll actually wear, that fit my proportions, and that make me feel confident every single time I reach for them. I don't want a closet filled with things that only look good under store lights. I want a wardrobe that feels like me, that supports my everyday life, and that I won't regret spending on months later. That's where these 10 questions come in. They remind me to pause and be intentional before I hand over my card or hard-earned money. And honestly, that mindset has made fashion more enjoyable, less stressful, and a lot more personal. But that's what works for me. How about you? What are your own hacks or questions you ask before buying something new for your wardrobe? Do you stick to a rule, like one in and one out? Or do you have little tricks to avoid impulse buys? I'd love to hear your tips, so share them in the comments. I'll be reading through, and who knows, you might inspire someone else who's watching too. Thank you again for spending time here in our channel, and I'll see you on the next one.